right, what up, what up? Erin Coscarelli alongside Lorenzo, Neal, Stephen Weatherly, Westwood One, Bleav, presented by Bet Online. We are here live at Radio Row. What's up, guys? How we feeling today?
Legendary. What's up? We're getting it in, man. The weather's great. Beautiful day. Super Bowl week. Game's a couple days away. Loving it.
Glad to be here. I've only been in New Orleans a handful of times for work, so to be here as like a fan,
Right.
a spectator is completely different. I love doing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be interesting because as a player, you're here, you're in, you're out, but you get to kind of enjoy the sights and sounds of NOLA. How's it been for you so far?
Pretty good. Got to get beignets,
Yeah.
Okay.
which is dope.
Yeah.
You love
always
them?
enjoy that.
Only one? You only ate one?
How many does a man
One
like
dozen?
Yeah, exactly. Right. How many
Talking
does
to my wife, I was
Okay.
down on them.
Okay. Pops and wife, they said you got to slow down. Gotta slow down.
Yeah, no, I love
They
my.
just melt in your mouth. Just
Pillows.
so and
Pillows.
the warm, just touch. Oh,
haven't eaten sweets for the last week in
Okay.
preparation for this
Okay.
adventure to New Orleans. But it's the food's great. She loves Cajun oils,
Yeah, sure.
especially with shrimp. So she's getting hers,
Oh,
and
man.
I get my beignets. So
I
we love it here.
I love it. Well, one of the things, Stephen, that you're here for is representing 23andMe. It's on your jacket right there. Tell us a little bit about your involvement, why you got involved with 23andMe, and how easy is it to actually do it?
Yeah. So I'm with 23andMe because I'm all about information helps you make the best decision, right? And I grew up prior planning prevents poor performance, the 5 Ps. And so the more information I have at my disposal to make an informed decision about myself, the better. And my health is no different. And I really got exposed to that in the league, right? In high school and college, you just eat, you think you're eating healthy. You make it to the league, you have a nutritionist. That's my first time I had my blood tested to figure out what I'm allergic to.
Mhm.
Fun fact, turmeric, often used in a lot of recovery
No
drinks.
way.
It's an inflammatory for me.
oh wow.
And so everyone pushing these turmeric drinks in the facility, I shouldn't be drinking them. Once I learned that I could be allergic to something that the average person uses to fight inflammation, I knew I had to take my health a little bit more serious. And 23andMe gave me that avenue to learn so much more. In fact, I learned that I'm 1% Asian.
I was
Wow.
going to say, what were the results? Were you surprised by what you ended up finding out? That's really interesting. So I thought 23andMe was just finding out like your DNA, but it can source information regarding what you might be allergic to or what could cause inflammation.
Yeah, so 23andMe can tell you a lot about your genetics. And in that, it can tell you things that you could be genetically predispositioned to. So you should probably change your diet and cater to that. And other things that you may have a high likelihood of developing later on, like high blood pressure and like asthma, things like that. So maybe you should be more cautious about your air quality. You should pay more mindfulness to those things so that you don't set anything off that could potentially snowball out of control. But you don't know until you're made aware. And 23andMe makes you aware of those things.
What was one of the prime factors for you where you said, hey, I want to learn more about myself? You know what I mean? Because a lot of people say, okay, there's a lot of things out there that you can do, and, you know, the platelets and the spinning, the blood and spin. What was one of those things that said, I'm going to go into 23andMe? Was it to find out your heritage, or was it find out just about your body? What were you looking for to make you make that decision to say, I'm all in?
Perfect. What started me on that track was just being in the league and seeing how much owners are investing into their players to make sure that they're tip-top shape. And if they're going to invest this much money into us, I need to do the same. And so I think it's mainly known for the genetics and the map and seeing where you're from. And that's cool. But really what I did it for was to see what things were lurking or hiding. Yeah, exactly.
So you did it more, you went in it not for necessarily to understand where descendants, you went in to say, look, I want to know about the health part of it. And that's okay.
So I don't have like a really good connection with my biological father.
Sure.
So that's a whole half of my DNA. I don't know anything about their family history, the things that they've gone through, things I could be susceptible to. And now that I have a wife on my side of the family, I want to be as informed as possible to know what I could be potentially passing on. As simple as like sickle cell trait.
Sure.
And so to that point, 23andMe gave me the avenue to feel more confident and comfortable to navigate that next generation space.
I mean,
that was the biggest.
It's really amazing that these companies are investing in preventative medicine, something that, you know, the older generation didn't have the opportunity to learn. And like you said, you know, I was with a friend last night who told us that she was allergic to gluten and hazelnut. And every morning she was drinking a cup of hazelnut coffee. And she said if she didn't find out results the doctor said she could have died like in 3 months if she kept on this sort of habit of drinking something that was really causing so much inflammation in her body. And that's something that you say 23andMe can help with. So that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
it
awesome.
definitely makes you alert of things, and then once you're made alert, the other cool thing about 23andMe is they have statistics and stuff that can help you break it down. A lot of it is high level stuff and genome markers and stuff like that. Once anything becomes too high level, you just reach out and they break it down in layman's terms for you, so you can really figure out what are things that need to be actionable and which things are just things that should just be aware of. So that
amazing.
whole thing is information is key, and it's so powerful.
So if you had advice, sorry about that, Erin, if you had advice for anyone out there, why 23andMe? If you were trying to pitch this, and it was like to your players or to family members, why is it so imperative to you, in your belief, why people should go to 23andMe?
They're extensive. They're large, and for me, it's about like data. So like they have the largest compilation of people markers, and so when you talk about similarities across groups, that there's no bigger data pool than 23andMe. Other people can make everyone in the space has access to the same technology. But when you talk about taking those data points and putting them together and making plans and drawing correlations between them to help other people within the group, you need a large data selection. And like I think that's where 23andMe stands out.
I mean, I love it. You know, I have both of my parents diagnosed with cancer. So I think being able to sort of look ahead and take measures to prevent things like that, or certainly try to ward it off, I think is amazing. Football is not easy on your body, obviously. Let's transition to why you're here too. Obviously, there's a game playing on Sunday. What are your thoughts of the two teams between the Eagles and the Chiefs? What's your take on sort of who you think is going to win and who has the edge?
My wife is a Chiefs fan, diehard, born and raised in Kansas City, and they're going to lose on Sunday.
Oh,
wow! She didn't hear that.
Not at all.
As he's looking away.
Yeah.
And then personally, I have two former collegiate teammates on the Eagles, Oren Burks and Kari Blassinger.
Okay.
And so I really want them to walk away in Vandy to have a Super Bowl. And so fly Eagles fly all the way. And where I think there is a competitive advantage between the two teams, the Eagles have this defensive. I played in the front, so I played front, the defensive line, outside linebacker. Love put my hands on people, so I like to acknowledge those guys that do that. Jalen Carter is an unstoppable man amongst boys, and the way you stop that, carrying a bunch of coaches, is you do a bunch of outside runs or quick passes. That will only work if you're tied, slightly losing, or winning. If Jalen Hurts puts up points and Patrick Mahomes isn't able to let Travis Kelce do what Travis Kelce does, they don't score. Because Jalen Carter does not slow down. He will be relentless the whole time. And you don't have your all-world center to stop him, right? He is retired. So I think that is where the game is going to do much of its play. It's going to be quick passes early, outside runs early, but once the Chiefs get down, they need to hold it to let those deeper routes go. Jalen Carter is going to eat. Nolan Smith is going to eat. Right, those Georgia boys are going to go crazy, and they have a solid secondary behind them. So it's a tough test for the Chiefs. They have an outstanding coach. Hopefully he schemes them up. But I think the edge goes towards the Eagles up front.
Wow, when you say that, so you think in the trenches, because football games are won and lost, we understand in the trenches. A lot of coaches say offense entertains, defense wins championships. So if you had to go down the line, you think, hey, look, is this a one-sport game? You just think Philadelphia Eagles, Saquon, in the way that they're playing, this could get ugly?
It could get ugly. It could get gruesome.
Wow.
That last game, when they also have two all-star receivers, and one of them is begging for a chance to make it, not necessarily about him because he's not an ego guy, but like once you allow him to make it about him, Brown will make it about him. But you also have Barkley in the backfield, who is running like his life depends on him because he knows he is right here at the precipice of greatness. On the other side, you have D-Hop. D-Hop needs time to do what D-Hop does. Jalen Carter directly negates that. Who is going to stop Saquon up front? And that's where I'm like, dog, it can get crazy out there.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's mainly.
I mean, that's the biggest difference. I mean, one of the biggest differences between the two teams from 2 years ago when they faced off in Super Bowl 57. I would say, though, your perspective, I don't know, Lo, is in the minority. A lot of people I'm hearing and people we've had on the show are like going Chiefs all the way until proven wrong with Pat Mahomes. 90 seconds on the clock. He's a lethal man. So it'll be very interesting on game day. I love getting your perspective. I love that you're using your platform to help others educate themselves on health, taking care of themselves, preventative ways. 23andMe with Stephen Weatherly. Thank you so much for jumping on the show. You're so much fun.
Absolutely.
And have fun the rest of the week in New Orleans, okay?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right. Awesome.
God, he's rolling with the Chiefs. I mean, he's rolling
with the Eagles.
Fly, Eagles fly.
He said it's one could get ugly.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that?
When you look at it on paper, Philadelphia has a better team.
That's right.
It like I said though, but the Mahomes factor,
which is out the window, because look at how the Chiefs played this whole year. How many one-score games? How many times did they have to come back at the end? They blocked the field goal, lucky. Someone missed the field goal, extra lucky. It's been one score. That dynamic, high-flying, big scoring offense they had a couple years ago, it is remnants of it are still there. Their shadow of what they once was, and it's in there that I think the Eagles have what it takes to end the three-peat.
Yeah. I mean, they're on a historic chance to three-peat. The Chiefs never been done before. Stephen Weatherly, thank you so much for taking the time to jump on and enjoy the rest of your time here in NOLA. All right.
Go stay away from them beignets, man.
Can't.
The wife ain't gonna let you get more beignets.
That's right.
These on these beignets, you got to keep them off the beignets.
All right. Thank you. I mean, awesome. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much. Very good. Very good. All right.
You do. Get your own testing.
We got some stuff.
Okay, let's try it out. We'll let you know.
Okay.
I'm gonna do it.
Let's do it. Thank you, Stephen.
Absolutely.
All right. Moving on, we've got a very exciting show for you guys. Erin Coscarelli alongside Lorenzo, Neal. We are here live at Radio Row. Bleav, presented by Bet Online. Low, baby. How you doing? How was last night? What'd you do?
You know what, Erin, I think your boy's getting old.
I mean, listen, I could barely wake up this morning, and I didn't even do anything fun last night.
I got done yesterday. We got done like 5. We had to do some stuff afterwards. After our show was over at 2, so we had some prior engagements. And I got to the room like 5:30. I ended up taking a nap and not getting up till like 9 or 10. Went and got something to eat and just went right back into the room, watched a little TV, and called it a night. Got it this morning, worked out, and I'm like, I just don't know. I mean, I like going for walks at night, maybe, but I'm not really. I've done it. I mean, I used to party like a rock star. I used to get crazy. Erin, back in the day, girl, you would have had no chance. Me and you would have like, I was like, girl, let's go. I would have even been twerking. You hadn't seen your pole. I'd twerk, jerk. I can do it all. Pop, lock, drop it like it's hot. But no, I laid low, just kind of taking it all in and just kind of watching just the fans. Last night, and we got in Tuesday. There wasn't a lot of people at the airport. I'm like, wow. And so Tuesday wasn't a lot of people. Then you look at like last night, you're starting to see the crowd come in, and today you just see it, and tomorrow another big flux come in. So it's just interesting watching how people are starting to come in. I'm sitting next to a legend, right next to it, Brian Dock and B Doc. I remember the battles we used to have with that guy. I mean, number 20. I mean, he would hit you like he didn't care if you were fullback, tight end. This dude played the game. So just watching a lot of Eagles fans, a lot of Eagle ex-players are here. And Brian Dox, I mean, Eagle fans know who that guy was. He was a legend on the field, unbelievable player, great career. And hopefully we can get that guy, because I mean, we've had a lot of battles, historical battles, and this guy, for a safety, usually you just like run through safeties, but he was like the closest thing, in my opinion, to like a Ronnie Lott, a John. When you think about safeties, guys that were just mean that I said could play, Ronnie a lot, of course. When you think about, what that guy can do, how the hardest he hit you, John Lynch, those guys that were just mean, come downhill and hit you, and he's no exception. So love to get his kind of perspective too about this big game, because a lot of people are saying Eagles have the better team, the better roster, but everyone, it's sort of like watching the Avengers. When all the Avengers, you got so many of them, right? But everything has to be perfect when you're going against Thanos. And you know who Thanos is. That's Patrick Mahomes. So you got to have everything lined up, because if you have guys he will hurt you. So it's interesting, because that's what I'm looking at. The Eagles are the Avengers, and Kansas City is Thanos, because they're the power, because what they've done and what they have, and the coach and that quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, they just show up. They know
They find a way.
They find a way to get it done. And it was interesting hearing Steven's take because he's siding with the Eagles. I think a lot of people we've heard from yesterday, and I'm sure we'll get their takes today, has seemingly been an overwhelming support of the Chiefs.
Right.
And I don't know, what's your take on it? Have you really thought long and hard when it comes to a very talented roster? Last year the 49ers had a very talented roster. But the Chiefs are just a gritty team, and you can't count out, obviously, the connection between Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. Have you given it thought as to, first of all, we talk a lot about both defenses. Which defense do you think has the edge? Vic Fangio, I am such a fan of him. I covered him in 2013 when he was with the Niners. Who are you siding with? And do you, when you look at it, do you look at it unit by unit, or do you look at it like the entire roster, the entire team as a whole?
I go by unit, but also it comes down to the entire roster. And so tomorrow when we're on, I'm going to give you both. I think I'll make my prediction. We'll make our predictions tomorrow since we got one more day.
That's right.
But I think that today is just kind of about getting into the matchups. And when you look at Philadelphia's front four, they have some mean guys. You heard young men in the zone here talking about what they can do as far as the interior line. It's going to be tough. If Mahomes doesn't have time in the pocket, because when you rush Mahomes, if you bring the speed rushers, the outside pass rushers, if they come upfield, Mahomes can step up and he can take off because you create lanes.
Right.
So when you rush a speed quarterback a la Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, when you have those outside linebackers, when they speed rush, you leave a lane right where that tackle is blocking that guy out. Even if he beats you to the spot, Mahomes can step up and he'll take off because he'll have lanes to run. So when you rush a quarterback that's mobile, you rush him on the same level. So you push the pocket straight back so you keep him in the pocket.
Okay.
That's what's going to be interesting to see if Philadelphia can stay disciplined. Everyone has to have rush lane integrity, where you rush and you push the pocket straight back, and if there's no speed rush where you don't give him lanes to step up and find a crease.
Which is where he really does.
That's where he thrives.
Yeah.
Exactly. So when you have great guys in front though that can push from the middle, now quarterbacks can't step up and the pocket collapses on them. So that's going to be big. The game's not necessarily about the tackles. The games are about the center and the two guards. Can they create that line of scrimmage and don't give ground so the pocket can collapse in Mahomes' face? If they can keep the line of scrimmage and say, look, we're going to protect. Those speed rushers can come, and even though those guys, if we can let Mahomes climb in the pocket and stay in the pocket, that's going to be a huge advantage for Kansas City. Don't think they can do that with consistency.
Mm-hmm. Did you think it was interesting? We had, I love getting your take. I love getting, the intellectual sort of gaming, scheming when it comes to the NFL. Were you surprised to hear, or do you agree with what Marshall Faulk said yesterday, that the NFL basically created a quarterback pass-happy offense and league? Like, did you remember him saying that? Do you agree that there was that? Did it seem like he was saying that the NFL did it on purpose?
Yeah.
And why would the NFL do that?
Well, I think when you look at the ratings, if you look at the ratings of football, like you just alluded to, it continues to climb. It continues still to set new boundaries. And why? Because it's a quarterback-driven league, and Marshall alluded to that. He's like, you don't have to be the best running back. You don't have to be the best quarterback, but you can be the highest paid because they just see what the quarterback got and they said, okay, we're going to give him more than what the other guy. For instance, we talked about a guy, Dak Prescott.
I thought that was really interesting that you brought that up.
$62 million.
Yeah.
And it's like, I understand you don't hate on the guy's chicken. You don't hate on the guy making his turkey, his chicken. But when you look at it and say, why can a guy who hasn't won a Super Bowl, barely won any playoffs game, be higher paid than Mahomes? How can he be higher paid than Josh Allen? How can he be higher paid than Joe Burrow? When you think about who he is, Dak Prescott, as a quarterback, and not that he's a bad quarterback, but you're going to pay him $62 million. Then you look at Purdy, the Niners. So it's like, okay, do I think Purdy's better than Dak? I do. I think if you look at worth, but and then you're going to say, are we going to pay him more? But are you going to pay him less? And this whole thing about quarterbacks, it's like it's always it's Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. It's even when the Niners, you were coach, you covered the Niners. It's Jimmy G and the Niners. Is it Jimmy G and the Niners, or is it the Niners and Jimmy G? You see what I'm saying? So
That's
so many times.
So true. We do that all the time in broadcast,
we
right?
Do that
it's like it's their team.
And it's like the Niners got there when they were able to run the ball. Remember the Niners when they're dominant? It was a run game. It was friggin' the defense, Armstead, all those guys that they were doing and how they were getting out of Bosa. They were killing people. Defense, they threw the ball against Minnesota. You remember they only threw the ball 7 times in that playoff game. They threw the ball 8 times, Erin, and it's Jimmy G and the Niners. You throw the ball 8 times and it's still the quarterback's team?
Yeah.
Jimmy G took them to the Super Bowl and it's still, I mean, think about the fallacy, but look what it's like. You want me to believe something. It's sort of like politics. You have people, okay, don't listen to what I say. Just listen to what I, don't listen to what I do. Listen to what I say. We have these, it's like, you push that on us. It's Jimmy G. And so everyone starts saying it's Jimmy G and I. It's like, but no. And so that's the fallacy. And that's what Marshall's talking about, because the quarterback position is so dominant. It's so put upon people to do this. And you have. So because they pushed it, and Marshall's his facts were, you can't hit a quarterback low. Quarterback can take off running.
Can't hit a quarterback high.
You can't hit him high. And once he takes off running, if he goes to slide, you can't hit him. But he's sliding still to get more yards. He can all of a sudden be running, and he can slow down, and then he can slow down,
so juicy,
and then take off.
Yeah.
He can act like he's going to go down and all of a sudden take off running. And you can't. So where is the balance? So Marshall's talking about the receivers. After 5 yards, you got to let them go. So Marshall's talking about you did this because now you have a game that's going to be more high scoring. And like he alluded to, it's 7-on-7 because you can't touch the receivers. It's impossible to be able to cover them that long. That's why they're putting more of a premium on cornerbacks and receivers. So he's absolutely right with what he's saying, that the league has, because of the things they're doing, it's allowed that.
We got Brandon Coleman coming up on the show to talk some more shop and 23andMe momentarily. But I think that's a very interesting perspective what Marshall said, because I'm always fascinated the trends and the Neal sees somebody. What are we lasering in on?
You see the linebacker that we're just talking about. There's Freddie. 49ers, great linebacker. I mean, what he's been able to do and how he continues to play at such a high level, I got to give this guy some love.
Oh my goodness, Neal. We were just talking about you. Oh my gosh. Neal, his good buddy Brian, Eagles legend, defensive player. Would love to get his take on how he's feeling. Let's see if we can move this over here. Jump in on the conversation here.
One of the stories I always tell.
Give us 2 minutes.
One of those.
Okay, good.
One of the stories I always tell is that one of the individuals that put me on my butt.
I got you.
Was that guy?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, I just want to get that on camera. Yeah.
Yes, oh no! Every time I played him, I always dominate.
Get out of here! I know you got.
Oh my God, he is still.
Thanks, brother.
He is still scary. He's massive. I mean, you guys are crazy. What was he? Can you tell us what just happened right now? Here we go.
I just told B-Dot. I said.
Okay. Because you played with him, obviously.
Yeah, played against him. He's the legend in Philadelphia. Number 20, he would come in and you knew what he was going to bring. See if you can get Freddie to come in for us. See if you can get Freddie. I was okay. And so with B-Dot, what he did is we had some unbelievable games.
Yeah.
And I'm aggressive.
Yeah.
And he's aggressive.
Yeah. Oh.
I always kind of pull back. Everyone talked, man, Lowe's getting down here. And so Brian, I was like, on Sunday, when I knew I was playing him, I said, okay, I got to have my head on swivel. I know we run a play called boss. And boss means back on strong safety. So he played strong safety. Okay. So that's when you have 70 and 80 boss. So it's a pitch. So boss back on strong safety. So that means I'm going to have the strong safety. It's a pitch. and then the safety's coming down. So I would see him, and we would just go at it. And what he just said, I was telling him, I said, bro, you used to bring out the best of him. He said, I tell the story. It's only one guy put me on my butt. And he said, you put me on my butt. So when you hear that from B-Docs,
dude, come on.
It was awesome.
We gotta get him. We gotta try to get B-Doc on. But we also have somebody very special.
Oh, I love this guy.
Dr. David Chao. Come here. Come
this
on.
Is Dr.
Let
David
me get this
Chao.
angle
this
better.
Is the man,
there we go.
the myth,
the
legend.
He himself.
I mean, he got me another 3 years. I mean, every
Did
time.
he?
Oh yeah, he just took care of me. Doc knew that when
Oh,
I was
you
beat up,
guys. He worked with you guys.
He was the Chargers team doctor.
Oh.
Dr. Chao, when I was beat up and couldn't go another, Dr. Chao said, "Don't worry, come see the doctor, baby."
How did he help you? What did he help you with?
He just helped me with flexibility. He helped me, just help me make sure, Lo, take care of your body. I mean, Doc always had the preventative medicine. Doc said, "Hey, look, Lo, we're gonna make sure you're right, make sure your body's right." Doc Chao was. I just said, Doc, I'll know. Doc Chao said, "Don't worry, buddy. I got you, buddy."
Well, so wait by 3%.
Yeah, you know what? I should have. Yeah. Doc Chao. They called Doc Chao and say, "Hey, Doc, does he got any more?" I mean, I was a bowling ball. I just
can I tell the full story?
Yes.
This is true.
Yes.
When Lo was with us, first of all the 1,000-yard rushers he made, and the most famous miracle.
The Music City Miracle. There we go.
Music City Miracle. But here's my thing. He's there. He's a vet. He's doing well. And we had a GM by the name of AJ Smith.
Yeah.
AJ Smith. I love AJ Smith. But a lot of people in the building, he was a little bit. He had a lot of bark.
Yeah.
And people like, and let me tell you one thing about AJ Smith. What he told me was
he loved you. AJ,
we had a nice bond. As one of the people who really got on, and he was all business, and he used to say, "Look, at a moment of weakness, I asked him, how come you don't keep your distance from the players?" And he did, and his answer was, "Because I'm paid to evaluate talent, and I don't want my personal feelings mixing that up. So if you're an owner, do you want me to evaluate talent?" So he's very businesslike always. And he was the only GM, whenever I told him his injury, he'd say, "Okay, we have a plan." All the other GMs are like, "Oh gosh, this guy's hurt." He's very businesslike. So Lowe's very smart man. So he's like, his health. He's like, "Doc, can you talk to him and tell him I'm good for more time?" And what I tell you,
story.
I said, "Neal, you gotta understand, AJ don't listen to nobody unless he's asking the question.
Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting.
You gotta get him to ask me the question. You go up and talk to AJ, tell him you got more time. If you don't believe me, talk to your doctor. Then he'll listen to what I have to say." That's what you did, and so we got a little more time.
Yes, we did. Yes, we made me the highest paid fullback in the game at the time. And so it was great.
The other story,
Fred,
famous story.
Hey.
Oh, good. We got people everywhere.
Should we get Marcus? Or maybe we'll get Fred? If we can.
If you want to get Fred, I'll hop off and you get Fred because he's got a roll, and I'll come back and tell the stories. Whatever you all want.
Come back if you can, Fred. Come back if you can. Okay.
Whatever. I'll get up
love
for
would love.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's very interesting. I know do we have Marcus Smith jumping on soon? You'll just let me know.
And you guys can just slide down.
Okay.
Or I'll do whatever.
Well, no, because I love picking your brain.
Oh,
I mean,
we got it.
But here's the most fantastic thing that people don't know about this guy. Okay. I saw it with my own eyes. 5 feet from the sideline, a fumble.
Oh my
12,
God.
15
Onside
people
kick,
in a pile.
onside kick.
On a pile, like huge pile right in front of me there. Neal, God bless you, last man in. Last man in the pile. 20 seconds later.
Under?
Last man on the
Okay,
top.
gotcha.
Everyone's in a scrum. Everyone's in a scrum.
Everyone's in a scrum.
And I looked and I jumped.
He jumped in and he burrowed his way in. 20 seconds later, he came out with the football. I was like, that's like a magic. I was like, how did you do that? That was unbelievable. You were on the outside looking in, and you went, and you burrowed it. All his wrestling.
Yes. He said he always talked about my little bird penguin arms because they don't, I got the little.
He went on.
Which is why my money was on you on the tossing the bag.
Oh, don't tell that story.
I mean, listen.
No.
You got those little short arms. You can't.
I get underestimated a lot, Doctor.
I was shocked.
So you know what? I know.
That
Of
was
course,
Sports
you're
Center
one of.
Central analysis. Look at nice long lean arms, full range of motion versus the short little guys throwing.
That's
like
right.
this, you know, arms.
I mean, look, it worked. It worked during his career. Certainly, 4-time Pro Bowl fullback. But I love having you on. We're here with Dr.
We're gonna
Chao.
get you the HOF, buddy.
I know.
That's define the
You got to
game.
campaign for that.
When you gonna get me in?
I'll make a couple calls for you. I mean, really though, he is a legend and he is so much fun because I think picking apart the game, we had you on a lot this season because the Rams had a lot of injuries in the beginning part. Were you surprised by the way it finished? Did you think that if they didn't have those injuries, the Rams would have maybe gone past the Eagles in the divisional round? Because it was close to the very end.
Well, the Rams, got healthier, and boy, that defense is something.
It's getting
defense.
Rams. They could have beat Philly.
That Rams defense is something.
But I'm saying, how do those injuries that happened in the beginning of the season impact sort of the development and the evolution of the team? That was my biggest thing. That was why
in the strangest way, it might have helped in this strange way. Because you had to rely on the defense, and the defense learned to step up because of all the wide receiver and offensive injuries. And so, in some ways, it hardened them in an unusual way because they couldn't rely on putting up 30 points. So defense had to step up and find a way. And let me tell you, that I still remember that Thursday night game was completely pivotal. And everyone talks about NFL as less emotion, but Matthew Stafford did not want his friend traded. Matthew Stafford and his wife didn't want to be traded. And they lost that game to the Vikings on Thursday. The trade deadline there.
Oh, Cooper would have been shipped out.
Cooper would have been shipped out.
Yeah.
And there was even talk of Stafford being shipped out. But they walloped the Vikings that game. And then that turned their season around.
Yep.
That's a true. That is true. How much of an injury, or how much does that affect the team? Like a Brandon Ayuk, you saw the Niners. We just saw Fred Warner walk by. Seeing Brandon Ayuk come in and get injured early, do you think that's the lack of reps? What does as far as the body, what is a lack of reps in training camp? Because what does that do? Is that more going to make you toward injury prone? Give us kind of the breakdown of that. Drew, let's get crazy, Daddy. Let's go crazy.
Oh boy. Let's take a look.
Yeah.
Drew Brees in the house.
My boy.
I mean,
Lolo, PB. Holla at you.
Aw.
You too. Hey, you know what's funny? I'm standing over here and I just hear this voice. So I'm like,
we just need to hear you. We just need to hear you talk.
He loves me.
We just want to make sure we get your sound.
I got one thing to say. The greatest teammate of all time, one of the greatest men of all time, Lolo, PB. Holla at your mom.
Drew, do you love coming back to New Orleans? Do you love it here?
I love seeing this guy. That's what I love. Yeah.
I
In fact, I'm gonna go get some gumbo right now. I gotta eat a little bit. I'm jumping back on something in about 15 minutes.
Okay, you come back and see us, maybe?
Yeah, we'll come back and see
Okay.
you.
Love you, man. Love you.
Nice Drew Brees sighting there. Gotta love
They'll
it.
be here this weekend.
Very cool. Thanks,
Yeah.
Drew. So sweet. He's awesome. He loves. Oh my God, he loves him some Lolo. Seriously, I mean,
I almost loved. Doc Chao. I'm telling you, it was San Diego was unbelievable. Me and Doc he was just a team doctor, but he's a better friend. Drew, great player, great teammate, better friend. It's interesting. We're playing against, and Doc, you remember this. We're playing against the Chicago Bears. We draft Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers is on the team. I think we've started off, 2-0-2. We wasn't playing that well. And so Phillip Rivers is on the team. He's a rookie. Drafted him top 5 picks. So Drew's in his year, and they're like, okay, they're going to put the rookie. So Marty walks up to Drew and says, hey, I just got the call. We're playing a game against Chicago Bears in Soldier Field. And Marty walks up and says, I just got the call. AJ want to go with the kid. I'm giving him a series. This is during the game. I walk over to Drew, and I hear what happens. Man, just leave. I said, man, stop looking around. I said, we believe you. Go lead. We win that game and go 1 like 4 straight. Drew holds him off the whole year. At that moment, I didn't think anything, 5 years later, while he's still in league, he writes a book and talk about what was one of the moments defining moments in his career, and he talked about that particular moment. It's in his book.
I mean, isn't that amazing?
That's-
And then Brian Doc comes over here. It's like, it's so cool to hear these stories of all these. Oh
Let's
my
go crazy,
God.
guy.
Marcus Allen. Are we serious right now? Is this happening? Is this really happening? I mean, like legend after legend after legend.
Don't start. Don't even start.
I love it. I saw that guy last night. I mean, anyways, we're going to have to get Dr. Chao to come back and talk about stuff and interesting things that are happening in the league. But maybe we'll be able to get Mr. Marcus Allen to stop in. Dr. Chao, thank you so much. Come back, okay? Please come back. I'm losing my voice because I keep screaming. Because I'm so excited to see everybody here on Radio Row. Marcus Allen in the house. Oh, are you guys okay? I'm just trying to get the sound here. Come sit. Come hang out with us. 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute. It's low, Neal. Come on. 30 seconds. Marcus Allen, we just want to hear how you're doing. He's thinking about it.
He's thinking
about it.
You've been playing too much golf. Oh, are you playing?
Oh my goodness.
We ain't gonna
And I don't want to sit down. I really don't want to sit down.
He doesn't have to sit. Just head in the mic. He don't. Hey, he don't.
We'll just stand up
He
then.
don't
We'll
want to
just
sit
stand. But it's so good to see you. I mean, you know, how is it being? When did you get in?
This morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. All right.
Be careful.
Listen,
I've been nervous.
I'm nervous. I'm nervous. Who would be nervous around the legends like Marcus?
No.
Allen? All right. So
I'm
since
nervous around him.
I know. Why do you always give me the look?
Hey,
Every
Freshman
time,
Snake had a good coach.
you think so?
Yeah.
I kind of hated that they got rid of Skip. You know.
Well, I didn't know much about that.
Okay,
I think
but
Matt Nancy's a really good
Is
coach.
Matt? You think he's gonna turn the program
I think
around?
he is.
Really? Do you have a great relationship with this guy? You think?
Got to know him in a short period of time. I thought it was what you would want in a head coach.
Can recruit?
I think he did all that. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's
Well,
gonna be
you
a challenge.
expressed
He did a great job in North Dakota and stuff like that. But I think he'll.
I'd love
His linebackers love playing for him.
Really?
Yes.
But does that mean we're going to be engraced by your presence down to Fresno? If you come to Fresno, I'll take you to the forum. Let you see my pigs, my cow.
It's so funny that I'm seeing you like your coordination, man. You got a little orange in the shirt. You got your orange shoes on. Listen, honestly, most fullbacks, they just kind of look sloppy. Most of them, right?
Thank
you. You're the exception and not the norm. Push it. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Did I do something?
oh my goodness.
Hey, you know what? I love you, man.
No, we do this all the time.
We do.
I mean, this guy has so much pull. Everybody stops by. We just had Drew Brees come by. Like,
it's all about well, first of all, the personality.
Yeah.
Can't get past that, and then it's about relationships. So that's what it's about. And he's always been cool. Always been cool.
And you've always been great. You've always been a leader. I've always looked up to you, watch you play, and watch you.
Wait, I watched you play, dude. I fell off my big wheel watching you. Dude, it was like
I remember I was getting recruited by SC, and you wouldn't even know this. I was like a blimp on, I'm not even gonna go there. And I was walking through the parking lot, and USC was playing Notre Dame, and it was supposed to be a big game. Notre Dame crushed you guys. So you were, and that was '89 because I was recruited, and you were in the parking lot, and I was like, man, there's Marcus Allen, and then getting drafted. That was in high school. So and then 4 years later, I'm in college, of course, and this guy's, and then to go and actually see him, that's Marcus Allen. So, and then over the years, and just the relationships we had, golf tournaments, hanging out, he'd watch me get hammered and like, look, you're drunk. What are you doing?
Tell me something, dude. Did you lift before you come on here?
No, you know what I did? No,
he did. He hit the gym.
Why you ain't doing
it? Do you leave any weight in the weight room at all, dude? Do you just bring it home with you? You're constantly just pumped up, dude. What's going on?
You know what?
Huh? Are you trying to make a comeback? What are you? All right.
Okay.
Anyway,
who's winning the game? You know what? Who's winning the game?
Yeah, exactly.
Who's winning?
I don't know.
At both teams.
Listen here. You got to beat the Chiefs. The Chiefs are not, Listen, I expected them, honestly, watching games and watch several games.
Didn't think they'd be here this
I
year.
did, absolutely. Yeah. But they find a way to win, and you got to give them their due.
and Mosier at 15, and Andy Reid, who just seems to dial up the right play at the right time, and quarterback just makes play after play, whether it's through the air, on the ground, and then Steve McFell at DC.
Yeah, Spags and get out. But Big Two, Bench from
yeah, I mean, those are they got great coaches on
both sides.
Yeah.
Kansas City.
Well, what do you do? I mean, what would you do if you were a coordinator? What would you do if you were the coordinator against? If
I'm playing against,
if you were Kansas City, what would you do?
I put 8 guys in the box, and I can't let Saquon beat me. And then I'm doubling number 11 because he's too physical as a receiver. I'm going to roll my safety over the top, and I'm going to play man.
So you're going to say, okay, yeah, that would make sense, and put the hands in the game in the hands of the quarterback and the tight end and Smith, Heisman Trophy winner. So it's like,
but what do you do?
So they got good players all the way around.
Both teams.
Because you're Kansas, if you're Philadelphia, what would you do in Kansas City? Wouldn't you make 87 beat you? It's like, I mean, excuse me, you take him out the game. Anybody else beat
anybody
you, right?
but Travis. Anybody but Travis. Every time
these coordinators is like, oh my gosh. But anyway, you're neither a DC and I'm not a an OC, and we're fans. And we're what do? I think we're intelligent people just with opinions. That's it. And we have no idea. That's what I just like. We just got to sit back and just watch and enjoy it. We can make these educated guesses, but nobody will. I've always said, I don't know who, missed curfew last night, who stayed up late, who's nervous.
That's right.
I don't know any of that stuff.
So many factors.
But yeah, we're like, oh yeah, these guys are good.
You're
I know. So much speculation.
Now, if you were on the field, I mean, I would
Wait, we gotta get us.
Okay, you're the best, man. Thanks for stopping by, brother.
Would you shut up?
No, I'm serious, man.
Lo has so much pull. Everybody loves Neal.
Hey, bro,
I can't even believe we just got Marcus Allen. Can we take
Bleav.
a quick? Can we take
my boy,
a photo for me?
All right, let's put excuse me. Put the rose between the thorns.
Okay, there you go.
There you go.
Okay. Amazing.
Thanks, bro. I love you, man.
Come give me the microphone.
Thank you. Thank
I'll give
you.
you a shot,
I love
man.
it.
You gonna do the specials tonight?
I love it.
I probably got it. No.
Okay. I'll shoot you a text.
No, I got your number.
Shoot. They got to exchange numbers. I mean, when in Radio Row, Super Bowl 59 live here, I mean, it's no surprise. You get legends stopping by. Let's just say Neal has a lot of pull. Marcus Allen, legendary. Really cool to get his insight and his intake on the game. They're exchanging some numbers. Marcus Allen behind us. I mean, that was amazing. Please send me all of the content we just got with Marcus Allen. Stopping by to come say hi. Marcus Allen, gotta love him. Wow, amazing. What did you think? I mean, first of all,
I know. Hey, thanks, appreciate it.
This is amazing. Thank you, Marcus. I mean, he's awesome.
He doesn't age.
He doesn't.
Hey, what do you take? Hey, Marcus.
He does not age.
Why don't you age, bro? He looks amazing.
Mom and dad genetics. It is a genetic thing.
Dude,
he's genetically gifted.
Stayed out of the weight room.
Stay out of the weight room.
He said he stayed out of the weight room.
Stayed out of the
killing me,
weight
man.
You know that all that information, dude. That's all it is information. What's information?
No, Lindsay, leave. No, don't let
listen to
Lindsay.
him.
You guys gotta stop your boy.
Don't listen to him. Neal in the gym too long, maybe. I mean, he looks good.
I got material.
Yes, I swear. Hey, he got me sweating over here. I'm like, dude, I was sweating. Yes.
I'll see you. We'll be wrapped soon, maybe. So, how amazing!
Look, he's got me sweating because
when
he's
you're
killing me.
how does that feel, Marcus Allen? Everybody wants a piece of Marcus Allen, and he stops by to come talk to you. That's really cool. I mean, and he said it, relationships, which is really important. I think you do. Everybody loves Neal. Are we gonna take a little break? Okay, we're gonna take a little break.
Yeah.
And when we come back, I want to get your take on what Marcus just said about the game. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, he said it. No one really knows it's going to happen, but some educated guesses, and I thought his perspective was really interesting. Erin Coscarelli, Neal, live here, Radio Row. We just had the legend stop by in Marcus Allen. We'll talk about it after the break. Don't go anywhere. Bleav, presented by Bet Online, will be right back. Oh my
Hey,
God.
Drew, I just wanted to say, what's your skincare regimen, man?